I've been using a very simple process to generate my content ideas, and I've been using it for the past 30 days. Because we know that if we have a business, the best long-term strategy to get clients for it is creating content online. And what is happening right now is that most people are using AI to create their content. And that is good for us. The people that don't want to use AI to write the content, the people that want AI to generate content ideas, and then we can put our soul into the content that we create. So we are going to be using AI for what it's best at, creating proven content ideas. Let me show you the process that we will be following. So what I want this system to do is to go to, in this case, Reddit, to capture which are the most up-to-date and the most interesting ideas that people are talking about. Then, once the system finds them, I want it to give me some YouTube video ideas. And then I'm going to record that video. Then, when this YouTube video is recorded, what I want is to have a system that turns this video into a newsletter. And what I've been doing is I'm repurposing that YouTube video into a part of my newsletter, but then I'm going to add a personal story, like all my personal touches manually. Once I publish this newsletter, what I want the system to do is to repurpose into LinkedIn posts, 2 posts exactly. And then since these already have my personal touch because I've added it to the newsletter, then probably those are gonna be like 90% good to go. Now, let me show you how this works in actual practice now that we get the idea of what we are trying to achieve. I'm using make.com for doing all this process. So step number 1 is gonna be scraping Reddit to create YouTube video ideas. And the platform that I'm going to be using for this is Autopilot, which is a platform with a lot of actors, this is how they call them, that allows us to scrape basically anything on the internet. So there is one actor that allows us to scrape Reddit, which is this one over here. And by the way, on the free plan, we have $5 of free usage. So if you only want to do this, probably this is gonna be more than enough. So what this is going to do is, first step is going to connect to Autopilot. This is the actor that we're going to be using, and this is the JSON or the information that we're going to be sending the actor to do what we want them to do. So here I have taken this JSON from the actor itself. So we will just go into the actor. We can put here the inputs manually that we want. So this is the URL. We will have to go to Autopilot, and this is the subreddit that I am scraping, the Notion one. So you will paste here the URL, and then you can play around with these other filters. And then if you go to JSON, it gives you the actual JSON that then you are going to use in the automation. So we will come here, just paste it. And the only thing that I have changed is the post date limit. So my idea is that this is going to run every day. So I only want to capture the posts that have been posted today. And that is it. This is going to scrape Reddit, and this is going to get the results from the scraping. If we open it, we can see that the dataset ID, it comes from the previous step, which is over here. Don't mistake it with this one because it's the actor's ID. And we want the output to be in JSON, and we can limit it to whatever number. And then 2 ChatGPT modules, one that decides whether it's a business post or not, because this channel is only about how to use Notion for businesses. And then another ChatGPT module to create the YouTube idea. And then I'm using Notion to capture all the ideas that this process is creating. Here is the prompt for creating the YouTube video ideas. You're a YouTube content strategist. My audience is made up of digital agency owners, blah, blah. They've been in business for X. They struggle with bottlenecks, overwhelm, burnout, doing from everything manually. They've heard of Notion, but often underused or feel it's too complex. Well, it's a little bit long. Here's some video examples so he understands what my video titles look like. So yeah, just so it keeps using my voice. And then this step to create the Notion idea inside of Notion. So how to do this one? Let's say that I already scripted the video, recorded it, uploaded it into YouTube, and then we will be on this second step, which is this second automation. repurpose YouTube into newsletter. So here, whenever a YouTube video has been posted, I have a Zapier automation telling me this, because Zapier works better for this particular use case, but well, you can do this exact same thing in Make. And then we have another Apify actor, and this one is an actor that outputs the YouTube transcript from a video, because yeah, this only gives us the YouTube URL. So then we are passing the URL to this actor so it can output the actual transcript, and then we can use the transcript to create the newsletter issue. This is what all of this is doing. So this is the actor with the JSON that you can get the same way as we saw before. Then there is an iterator and this text aggregator, because the transcript comes in an array. So we need to separate the array into each chunk and then aggregate it with this tool over here so we can see the whole text. And then we're gonna input all of that into a ChatGPT module with a prompt, and here is the video transcript to repurpose as a newsletter issue, and here is the text that comes from the previous step, which is the whole transcript. And then I'm gonna create a database item inside of my newsletter database and append the content of the repurposed newsletter this way. So like this, we can create a row inside of the database, and then within that page that we just created, we can have all the newsletter issue created. I'm going to show you an example. Here's an example, YouTube repurposed, and this is the newsletter repurposed, that then I'm going to have to tweak and add my personal touch and everything. Okay, so we are here. Now, what do we do? The next trigger for the next automation is going to be whenever I publish the newsletter issue, and that happens on a third automation. So whenever we are building automations, we always have to understand what is the trigger of which automation. So this means that something has to happen for the next automation to trigger. And in this case, is a newsletter has been posted. So this was a little bit more complex because this is just a personal thing, because I'm sending my newsletters according to the time zone of the reader. So this means that the newsletter is sending 24 times whenever I send it. So with these filters and everything, I just make sure that I'm only going through this process one time. You can see how this has been triggered every hour or almost every hour. But okay, then I have two ChatGPT modules over here. One to parse the email from HTML to text, and then these other two modules to transform the newsletter into a top of funnel. This is what it means, post, and middle of funnel post for YouTube. And then same, we have Notion modules that save all the content inside of Notion, so then I can go there, tweak it, although this already has all my personal touches because they came from the newsletter, and then post it on LinkedIn. This is the prompt that I'm using. And since this is a very writing heavy endeavor, I'm using this model, which is the best at writing from ChatGPT. But you can also use Claude, which is also very good at writing. And you're Dana Canosa, founder of Systemify, blah, blah. This is your job. The audience is this, tone and voice guidelines, the task, extract one pain point, blah, blah, da, 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 da. You can pause the video and read it. So here's the prompt. By the way, I use ChatGPT to write these prompts. So if you don't know how to write a prompt, just tell ChatGPT you're a prompt engineer that I pay you $200,000 every day. Write me a prompt for this particular use case, and he will do it. And that will be it. Now I'm gonna show you one example for LinkedIn. So here are some ideas. I used to spend hours catching up on team training questions or requests like how to onboard new clients. I will start repeating myself. I build SOPs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. I will just add some personal story or something. But yeah, this looks quite good. So yes, again, like my recommendation is to use AI for generating ideas taken from a source where you have proven that those ideas interest people. So this removes the guesswork on what type of content to create and make sure that our efforts creating content can yield the most results. But of course, this doesn't substitute your own creativity. If you have an idea and you want to do it, just do it. Because at the end of the day, we are building our business to enjoy it. So well, I hope this video was helpful to you. And as always, hasta la próxima.